بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وأفضل الصلاة وأتم التسليم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. اللهم لا سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا، وأنت تجعل الحزن إذا شئت سهلا. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا، إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. أسأل الله تبارك وتعالى أن يجعل نياتنا خالصة لوجهه الكريم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us in the Quran, in Surah Al-Ma'idah, the second verse, وَتَعَاوَنُوا عَلَى الْبِرِّ وَالتَّقْوَى وَلَا تَعَاوَنُوا عَلَى الْإِثْمِ وَالْعُدْوَانِ. In this verse, Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala, He told us, and assist one another in righteousness and piety, and do not assist one another in sin, and we could say transgression. It is extremely important that we are in the aid of one another in all that is good, and that we warn each other and protect each other from falling into that which is bad, that which involves sin and transgressing the limits of Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala. Each and every one of us should be a support to the other in that which is beneficial. A Muslim should always be a source of benefit in the world for the Muslims and the non-Muslim. The Muslim should be a benefit. And the way the Muslim would be beneficial to others is simply by adhering to what Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala ordered them with. If one does what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered us to do, or made it as a recommendation for us to do, in terms of doing the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if one was consistent in that, then one would be a benefit to others. The first way, of course, is to call the people to al-Islam and to call the Muslims to practicing al-Islam. And then within Islam, everything that is recommended for you to do is available. Each and every one of us have to work on ourselves to be better Muslims. And I mentioned to you earlier this week that we got to work on being pious Muslims. We got to work on being pious Muslims. This is so important. I don't think we realize how important that is. We got to reach today where it's no longer acceptable to say that's expected. We got to reach the point where it's no longer acceptable to say that's expected. And that what is expected is someone falling short in their religious practice. For all of us, I mean, it's something that we all got to work on. And the only way that will become somewhat of a reality is when each and every one of us understand that that's a work we individually have to do, right? It's that old saying, be the change you want to see. And when we're all striving to be pious, we make it easy for the others. In fact, we become an inspiration for the others. I think about that when I was coming up, right? A lot of guys who came up in the lifestyle we came up in used to use drugs or drink alcohol. They either smoke weed when that, or drinking beer, or when they got real strong, they started using cocaine and all that stuff, dope. And I remember one time I was talking to somebody about that, and they said, "Why y'all guys never got high?" I said, "You couldn't be around us and get high. That just didn't work. In my group, you can't get high. That's just out of the question. You cut off if you get high. You wasn't even respected." That's a whole nother weird one, but the point I'm making, you couldn't be down if you got high. That's just not gonna happen. No one's you can't hang out. You're not gonna get no money, none of that. It's not happening. So none of us got high because everyone around us, that was the attitude. So nobody got high. As a side note, that backfired on some of us, right? Because when you go to jail, you might not know this, but in jail, a lot of people uh they get out early because they get in a drug program. But when you get in the drug program, you have these gatherings and everybody talk about their drug. You talk about your drug program, and brothers from that was with us, they ain't had no drug problem. So when they tried to get into the drug program, they couldn't tell the stories. uh, or the way they felt would come out. Oh, that's funny. So Joker had to do his whole bid. That's another ghetto story. Don't worry about it. Some understand, some won't. But the point of that is, I mentioned that, is that because everyone around us had a certain nature, it made it easy for the others, right, to not do certain things. I'll give you another example. We used to wear white all the time. I'm talking about in religious, I'm not talking about other stuff. White garbs, right? And the purpose for wearing that white was that you remain pure. Because if you got a white garb, certain things you're not going to do. If you dress in Muslim clothing, certain things you're just not going to do. The habit of it. Some people will, but that's not the norm, right? That's not the norm. You're not going to do it. Likewise, if you hang around certain people who do certain things, you're going to do what they do, right? That's just the nature of it. And the scholars of it, tasawwuf, they say, how can one be successful if they haven't seen and accompanied those who are successful, right? Right? So that's an important aspect of our deen, really. And I mentioned these other things so you can just kind of make an analogy. Sometimes you don't have religious things, so sometimes the things you saw in the dunya are synonymous to what happened in the deen or what should happen, and you can benefit from them. So the point here is that be a help for one another in righteousness, and that's why we all should strive for piety, and no one should fall short in their efforts. It's going to look different in the outcome because we're not all the same. But if we're all striving to be good Muslims, practicing Muslims, pious Muslims, we make it easier for the others. We encourage the others, right? And that's not a difficult thing if you do it in stages, right? Do the best you can and spend a lot of time concentrating on yourself. Worry more about yourself than you are of others, right? So if you're concerned with others, the affairs of others, then you should be much more concerned about your own affairs. If you can see what others should be doing, then you should know what you're doing and what you should be doing. Now I want to get to the hard part. I want to give y'all some advice. Brothers and sisters, save yourselves from your own desires. That's my advice to you. Save yourselves from your own desires. I've been an imam for around 12 years as the head imam. And before that, I was an assistant imam. In 12 years, I've seen so many things in our communities that if I told you them, you wouldn't believe me. You'd be like, Imam's making that stuff up. People don't do that. Yes, they do. We do stuff. And I mean stuff. We, I didn't say they, I didn't say y'all. I said we do stuff. And most of that is built on our desires. Our desires overwhelm us and we do stuff. Learn to overcome your desires. Learn to struggle against your desires. And my advice to the brothers, you're going to be accountable for your deeds on the day of judgment. You're going to be questioned about everyone that Allah gives you authority over. That means your wife, your children, everyone who you are responsible for, you're going to be questioned about that on the day of judgment. Stop looking for the easy way out all the time. It's going to get you in trouble. Especially in the issue of marriage. I know a lot of us have become Islamic players. We're not going to win like that. A lot of us have become Muslim gigolos. Yes, it's halal to have more than one wife. It's halal. And yes, there are plenty of women out here that won't mind being your wife. Yes, true. But with that, you have the responsibility of taking care of more than one wife. And the game you running on sisters, because they're needy, they want a man, and they drop standards, not lower them, just drop them all together. And you take advantage of that, you're going to be questioned about that on the day of judgment. Hey, I'm your brother. I'm sharing it with you. You go ahead, put your Mac game down all you want. You know your reality, and you know that this sister is not thinking straight. You taking advantage of it because you want to be a player. Because the tables have turned and flipped on the side of the one who has nothing, but now he can have everything because of the circumstances. Be careful, man. Seriously. Your nafs will give you temporary enjoyment and possibly long-time torture in the hellfire for being unjust to women. And sometimes to the children. Don't bite off more than you can chew. Let me say it that way. All the cake on the table is not healthy for you to eat. Sometimes you just need a slice and call it a day. And I'm telling you, sisters, a lot of these brothers, they got about 3 or 4 women that they kicking it with. You ain't the only one. Don't be fooled. You ain't the only one. A lot of that's going on. They in your inbox, her inbox, her inbox, her inbox. Don't think you special. There's a lot of games being played. And unfortunately, because we don't have real leadership and government and consequences, people do whatever the hell they want. I hate to say it like that. People do whatever the hell they want. And then you'll come later after you've been had to the imam, can you help me? Hell no, I can't help you. I told you not to do it in the first place. Excuse my harsh way of talking, but I'm serious. Nah, I can't help you. Take that crap to whoever you organized it with. I can't help you. I see it all the time. Just be careful. That's all I'm saying. I'm not criticizing any individual. This is a general problem that I see. It's a general problem. And I've seen it over and over and over again. Too much. I'm always getting calls and my family like, oh, could you talk to some? No, no, don't put me in it. They knew daggone well what they was doing. And I don't want to do with it. No, absolutely not. That's for the brothers, right? Everything that's easy ain't good. And I know it feel good to the now. I'm the man, you know. I got the pick of the litter, bro. I know it sound great, but you know yourself. Some of us, we know you broke. You can't handle no family. You broke. So why in America put yourself in a situation where you're gonna be unjust? You broke. You don't got no money. You can't do it. And you know you can't do it. Don't do it. Be honest. Sis, I like you. I mean, but I'm really not in a position to take care of a wife. I'm not. I'm struggling to take care of myself. Don't worry, brother. It's all right. I really don't need nothing. That's not true. She needs something. And the thing she needs is not going to last that long. And then what she really needs, she's going to start talking about. And you still going to be in the same position. So don't do that. If you are in a position, mashallah, do what you got to do. But if you're not, don't overstep your bounds. We don't have girlfriends in Islam. I actually heard people say that. Listen, sister, we can just be, Islamic boyfriend and girlfriend. We just keep it halal. So we gonna do this nikah, and you stay at your place, I stay at my place. I see you once a week, maybe once a month. You know how we do. And don't say nothing to the imam. You know that nigga be hating. Okay, I'll have a salad. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. We need to stop. We need to stop. Seriously. No, I'm being honest. Because I love us. Right. I'm sorry, guys. It's crazy. Lastly, Sisters, I'm not in your position, so I can't really speak on the feeling. I'm not in the position of a woman. And I realize it's very hard to find a man, period, let alone a good man. It's rough. I got it. But life is more than sexual relations. And if you don't have quality companionship, that's not companionship, even though it may feel good. I'm going to say those two things. Life is not just about sexual relations. And if you don't have quality companionship, it is not good for you. So you, like the man, have to fight against your desires. Because dudes will play that companionship thing. You lonely? Not tonight. So they'll play that game with you all day long because it works for their ego. They'll play the game. They'll be on the phone with you all night, singing sweet nothings, talking junk. They'll do that. They'll even go out with you. They'll be the shake for you too. You need me to teach you a lesson, sister? I teach you some surahs. I teach you some Arabic. They'll do all that. That ain't gonna make them a man though. So don't undermine your own objective by playing someone's girlfriend without the word. Don't do that. Don't do it. Have a clear-cut expectations of a man. This is what I expect for my husband, right? No one's perfect. I'm just giving you some serious advice because I think we just be sitting around sometimes quoting Quran and Sunnah that means nothing to us. Because if I tell you the religious rules, you already know that stuff, right? But you're still doing the same stuff with the rules and that you know. So that ain't it. Somebody ain't having a heart-to-heart talk with you, right? And that's because we want your marriage to work. It ain't just I need to get married. I need to get married so it lasts, right? I don't want to just get married. And a lot of women been passed around by no good Negroes. And I mean that because I'm really speaking to a specific segment of our community. And I'm not saying it doesn't happen with others, but I'm speaking what I mainly deal with. Others have other things kind of as a protection sometimes. Sometimes it falls apart. But the family structure is there usually that prevents a lot of this stuff. People got mothers and fathers and they can't just do whatever the heck they want. But in our community, a lot of that's missing. So people just do what they want. I'm grown. I know. Right? And I've seen it over and over again. Stop selling yourself cheap. Guys will take it cheap. They don't care. They'll take it cheap. The cheaper, the better. Very few guys gonna say, you know what, sister, you worth your weight in gold, and I'm gonna give you that. And I ain't talking about just money. I'm talking about time. I'm talking about commitment, religion, financial, ethical. I'm trying to build you, sister. And a lot of jokers ain't thinking about that. We be thinking people don't think like that. I'm trying to hit it and quit it as soon as possible. So as soon as I find an excuse to quit it, I'm out of here. Excuse me 1 second. And I hate to say these things, but I'm watching, I'm paying attention. And I see the same brothers do the same stuff. I see it. I watch him. You got groups of brothers together doing this stuff. Groups spreading out the women. We sharing the women among each other. Groups of brothers doing this crap. Organized prostitution rings in the name of Islamic marriage. It's sad. It's sad. So you will have in one community a sister been married to like 5 or 6 brothers. How the hell that happening? Tell me. How is that happening? What's going on here? Something ain't right. Something's seriously wrong. And the sisters know it. You know what a sister said to me one time? I'm going to share this with you to show you how bad. The sisters ain't stupid. A sister told me a person joined a group just to get some women. She said it to me. She said, "Oh, he's just trying to get some stuff." And sure enough, that is exactly what they were doing. So that means she knew what they do, because she said it to me. And I seen it more than once that that's what they're doing after she said that to me. So that brother who you meet here, who's in your inbox talking junk, he probably one of them. And he going around the imams, he doing all that. He probably one of them. And you helping them harm you by doing it with him. You're helping him harm you by doing it with him. Just be careful. And I'm speaking to brothers and sisters, because a lot of the sisters act like they innocent and they thirsty. They're not innocent, they thirsty. They know what they're doing. They're not stupid. But what happens, they thirsty, but they also emotional. So they start out thirsty, then when they get their thirst quenched, the emotion kick in. And then that's when they come to the imam, which is wrong. And sometimes we got to talk with us in a way we understand. Seriously. We know what we're doing. It's a struggle, I got it. But we have to struggle. That's why I said we have to become pious in the beginning. We have to become pious in the beginning. Because if we become pious, some of these things we can easily overcome. I'm not saying they're not struggle. They are a struggle. Because I know sisters who don't do that. And they struggle. And it's hard. And they go years looking for a husband. And it ain't easy. But don't sell yourself cheap. Don't. Don't do it. Value yourself. And I'll end with that. Value yourself. You're not cheap. That's the only reason I say a $5,000 dowry, because you're going to separate some of these jokers. Some of these jokers don't value you, and if you sell yourself cheap, that's how they're going to take you. I'm not saying don't get married for less. I'm saying don't sell yourself cheap, right? It ain't about the money. It's about you not selling yourself cheap, because the nature of a lot of these brothers is they're going to take you for cheap. Don't do it. Say no. I ain't got it. Okay, go get it. That doesn't apply for everyone. You'll know who it applies to and who it don't when you put it to them. You'll know who it applies to when you put it to them. You know, if he loves you, and I don't know how he loves you, and y'all ain't even married yet, except that he loves you as a Muslim sister. No, he love you. What the hell y'all doing? How did he fall? How he fall in love with you? Sister, you know I love you. That's another story. But anyway, put it to him. If he really loves you, he'll wait. If he loves you, he'll wait till he can fulfill all of your needs, and he won't go nowhere. If he really, really like he wants you, he will wait till he fulfill all of your needs, and he won't go nowhere else. Hey, listen, I understand, and this is not a criticism. I'm just trying to avoid the harm. I understand the struggle for all of us. And I ain't we gotta struggle. I got it. But I'm trying to help us not stay in the same vicious cycle, right? Of heartbreak. Because you know what happens when this stuff keep going on? We start blaming it on Islam. Eventually, we start blaming it on the deen, not on ourselves. And I seen that too much, to where the sister, and it's usually the women, the sister was deening, covered. Next thing you know, she got on just a head covering and the earrings. And next thing you know, she ain't wearing a garb no more. And next thing you know, Shaitan done tricked her. It happens a lot. I seen it. How did it happen? She lost confidence. Too much bull crap. And then it gets worse. Brothers, think about this. It get worse. So I'm gonna just go get me a non-Muslim. A'udhu billah. I'm gonna just go get me a non-Muslim. Can't be no worse than these brothers. Yeah, it is worse. This is a trick from Shaitan. That's haram. No, it's worse. That's not better. I'ma just convert them. Sisters, no woman is running and maintaining a real man. You gonna follow him. He not gonna follow you. If you got a man following you, you have a problem on your hands, not a man. Let me repeat that, sisters. No real man is going to follow behind a woman. If you have a man who's following behind you, you have a bigger problem than you think. Trust me. That's our dean. I'm not saying he won't listen to you. He's not going to follow you. Not a man's man. He's not going to follow you. He's not. That's just not the sunnah of Allah and his creation. So don't believe that. So that's just my advice. Because believe it or not, I do care about us. I do. And from my seat, I see a lot that many of you will never see. Imams see a lot of stuff because they always come to us when it all go wrong, right? When it all go wrong, that's when the imam come in. Before that, ain't nobody paying them no attention. But when it go wrong, imam, help me. And this is not just me. I'm talking about imams. They know it. Ask any imam, he'll tell you. Imams will tell you this over and over again. It always happens. And the first thing the imam got in his mind, why you ain't come to me in the beginning? Why you come to me when it's a mess? Because he's saying it wouldn't be a mess if you came to me. Right? So it's just advice. So, sister, my last part of this, I got to get ready to get out of here. You want a husband, not a boyfriend. Please put that up, sisters. I want a husband, not a boyfriend. We Americans, we know what a boyfriend is. I want a husband, not a boyfriend. Please put it up. I want a husband, not a boyfriend. And you need to say that to yourself and to the guy who's coming to you. Soon as he start talking, Hope, I need a husband. I don't want a boyfriend. Right? And it's hard being a husband, especially in America. If you're a real husband, it's not easy. I'm telling you, it's not easy being a husband. It's hard. Because a husband means responsibility and accountability. Sometimes I have to remind brothers in the masjid, yo, how come I'm married? You know what I said? I'm in the masjid. I have to remind people, yo, man, I'm married. I got to go home. I have a family. I can't just hang out with you. I'm married. I can't do that. What does that mean? I'm responsible, not just financially, somebody's emotional state. I'm responsible for that. I got to go home. I got to check on my family. I always got to think about the future of my family, the well being of my home. That's a husband. It's not my girlfriend. I see her when I see her. No. If you understand what I mean. So don't be nobody's Islamic girlfriend. Be somebody's wife. And don't let nobody play you like a girlfriend. And don't you play yourself as a girlfriend. And we all know what girlfriend means. It means I don't got to be responsible for her. We're friends with benefits. Nah. No. The fact that I honored you by allowing you to marry me means something. I remember a time where the guy would do a backflip to get a woman. Y'all remember those days in our culture where it was like to get a woman, you worked. You didn't just, you had to work to get a woman. You had to, show your gentleman. Bring those days back, sister. Make brothers be men, because it's an overall benefit for you and for the community, right? It may be, but tell me, people say it, sister. They say Islamic boyfriend. I've heard it. What do they mean by that? We married, but you do your thing and I do my thing, but we married, so it's halal. That's what they mean. I've seen it. I've seen it a lot. I hear it a lot. They ain't doing that because he's doing some career. They doing it because he's a joker. There you go. Boop. Right there, Khadijah. Daughter of Imam Genius. You're right there. They separate the marriage from the responsibilities. I mean, we act like we don't know what be going on sometimes. Come on, we be like, come on, we know us. We know stuff that be happening. I'm gonna leave that right there though. But that's just my advice. Seriously. It has it has bad effects on our community, right? Just stop it. Inshallah. May Allah make it easy for us. Sisters, value yourself. That's it. If you value yourself and you don't let nobody sell you cheap, you can help tremendously with the problems, right? Because it has an overall effect on our community. Maybe I'll talk about that another time. Barakallahu bikum. I'm late for post-Fajr reflections. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Oh. Tomorrow, the event in Philadelphia is canceled. I almost forgot. I'm sorry. The event in Philadelphia is canceled. Many of our people have corona. So please make dua that Allah relieve them and their children and their families. But there's a spreading of corona in Philadelphia, and we had to cancel the event. So make dua for, so I don't want nobody to come because it's canceled. Too many cases of corona. So make dua for them that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cures them and brings them all back to Afia, inshallah. Bisir Rasul al-Fatiha.